telling you right now, if you gotta go somewhere.
Starting stream now. Live. We're live.
All right, cool.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to probably the last time we're going to be able to talk about new Smash content. If not for a while, then probably ever release Smash content in which Sakurai is involved. But yeah, the last Smash character is going to be unveiled tomorrow, October 5th. And we're going to talk about who we think it is and our thoughts on Smash Ultimate and Smash in general.
Yeah.
How about that? Yeah. All right,
Smash.
so it's going to be Tracer from Overwatch. Goodbye, everybody.
Leave.
But it's gonna be. Good.
Here's actually a good start. How do we all feel about Fighter Pass 1 versus Fighter Pass 2? Do we?
I gotta look up Fighter Pass 2.
Prefer the first one or the second one? For me, it's a really close call between whether or not I prefer Fighter Pass 1 or Fighter Pass 2, because Fighter Pass 1 had my favorite reveal out of all of the DLC reveals, which was Joker. Not because of the specific reveal and how they did it, just because of the scenario that I was in. I can go into that story, but it'll probably take too long. But that and Joker, I was really excited for.
Yeah, we were at GameStop.
Yeah, we were at GameStop.
Yeah. Okay, fine, I'll tell the story. We were at GameStop, right? And we were watching the Game Awards. And while we were watching the Game Awards, there was also the midnight launch for Ultimate. So I'm like, all right, Game Awards is kind of boring, and I gotta go to Wawa for something, so I'm gonna go do a walk real quick. So I'm on the walk. I'm just like, you know what? Fine, I'll take a look at Game Awards. It's still boring. Turn it off. Go to Wawa. Do what I gotta do. On my way back,
like Fox getting his ninth award.
All of a sudden, it's the life will change for Persona 5. Oh, this is going to be awesome. And I start walking faster. And then they start talking about an invitation. And I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't... And I start jogging. And then I see the Smash invitation, the logo on the envelope. And then I start booking it as fast as I can. I gotta tell Austin and Brent. I gotta tell Austin and Brent. I yell into the GameStop screaming, it's Joker! Joker! And then you and Brent, Austin, you and Brent are watching on your phone. You see the thing, and just like, yeah, I know, right? It's Persona 5. I'm like, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. And then you see it, and then we all just erupt in, it's Smash! It's Smash! Joker's in Smash!
We weren't all yelling. I don't remember.
I was yelling.
You were yelling, and everyone in the store was looking at you. I remember that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just you, because I don't think I was that excited.
I was excited, but I wasn't like yelling.
You were trying to be quiet.
Yeah.
You were trying to be quiet. I remember that. You were just like, Smash! Oh my god! I didn't even care. I was just fucking going crazy at the GameStop.
I was too busy. And,
you know, I thought everybody would get excited with me because we were all there for the same reason for Smash. But they're like, oh, Joker's in Smash? Oh, okay, cool.
And they realized how much they were going to break the game, and then they realized that it wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, so, just based on Joker alone...
Ignore me.
Just based on Joker alone and Banjo-Kazooie, Joker and Banjo-Kazooie make me.
See, now hold on. Hold on. Let's think about this. Let's think about this, right? What are we arguing? Not arguing, but what are we pinning this in? Are we framing this with the idea that we're judging the Fighter Pass off of the character and what it represents, or your personal opinion? Because listen, it's got Joker and Banjo, and I don't really care. First off, Joker killed the game for me, so I don't care.
If you're going off of what it represents for all of gaming, Fighter Pass 1 has Hero, who's big, and like you can make
Byleth.
You can make an argument that Terry represents a whole aspect of fighting games, but like Terry also was not as globally known until Smash,
right?
Even though it should have been.
Yeah.
So like you got those two.
I mean,
Fighter Pass 2 has Minecraft.
it also has 3D fighters with Tekken.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going off based on my personal preferences, because there's a lot of different ways you could judge the two Fighter Passes. You can judge them by your personal preferences, how each fighter's mechanics of the game, the value to each one, because, you know, you're getting more bang for your buck with Fighter Pass 2 than Fighter Pass 1. You can also judge it on, you know, the sort of status of each character. So, you know, you could discuss all of that.
As much as I like a lot of the characters from Fighter Pass 1, something that I think Fighter Pass 2 managed to do that goes, like, super underappreciated is that Fighter Pass 1 every single character in Fighter Pass 1 is the protagonist of their respective game or series. Nobody from Fighter Pass 2 is the protagonist. You get a villain. I mean, the most you can say is Steve, but Steve is really a player insert. Even Steve, most of Steve's costumes are not Steve. So I wouldn't say Steve is like a protagonist, but it's the only one that's close.
Or
Min
like
Min is
the
just a
main
character in a
playable
fighting
character.
roster. Yeah, Steve is the main playable character, and like that's the only character like that. Because Min Min and Kazuya, while Kazuya is super important to Tekken's story, Kazuya is also only like the main character of one Tekken game.
He's the main character of the first game, and that's pretty much... He's the main character protagonist of the first game.
And the representation of him in Smash is definitely not the representation of the protagonist version of it. And then we have Min Min, who's just a character in a big ensemble roster. You have Pyra and Mythra, who are main important characters, but they're like your first party member more than they are your playable character. And then there's Sephiroth. And Sephiroth is just Sephiroth.
Well, listen. That's what I was saying is that I judge them by the what they have done for the game, because I mean we were just talking about this. I have this argument. I think Sephiroth is a bad addition because why is another Final Fantasy VII character? Square Enix really said we're gonna put another Final Fantasy character in. Dude, we have 15 games? Like we got Final Fantasy 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We could put the main character from 1, 2, 3, 4, Sephiroth. But we already have Sephiroth.
I get that, and like I do see the point. As much as I would kill for anything FF9 to be in literally anything ever. I do think Sephiroth was the right choice for a second Final Fantasy character, because he's one of the most iconic video game villains of all time. His game is already in the game, and his game was also heavily underrepresented before he showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what you're saying is they spent a whole. So what you're saying is they spent a whole DLC fixing their wrong.
Kind of, but I don't think that's all of Sephiroth's.
That's okay.
Like, they definitely, I think, partially chose him to fix that, like, misstep because of, probably copyright issues, whatever. But I do think he also probably would have made it even if that weren't the case, because of how notable he is and how important and popular. And Sephiroth's a character that a lot of people know. Like, people who don't really actively play games know who Sephiroth is. Which is weird when you consider his name as Sephiroth. Like, that's not he's an anime guy with a sword. You don't think many people would remember that. But he's one of the most, like, well-known video game villains.
The way that I put it is that Sephiroth is absolutely the perfect junk food addition to Fighter Pass 2. Did we need another Final Fantasy VII character as DLC? Probably not. But it's here, and he's got more Final Fantasy music, and we got a fucking...
Hey, we got that Cosmo Canyon remix.
In the game, because why the hell not?
We got that Cosmo Canyon remix. They could have just given us that, and I would have been happy.
Alright, it's time. Hold on, everybody shut up. Everybody shut up.
We need more Final Fantasy VII representation, but now that we have it, I ain't complaining.
Alright, everybody shut up. It's time to piss Austin off. Are you ready? Alright, here comes the Brent rant. Okay. Fuck Pyra Mythra. They're a fucking waste of space. Alright, let me tell you why. There is no rule at all. There is no, like I said before, there is no chalkboard that Sakurai has about rules, right? What's the one rule he said? Characters that are already in games, so like Goku, aren't supposed to be in because they don't come from games, right? Didn't he say that?
That's
he said something
the only
like that.
thing he said. He prefers.
Okay. So that is the one rule on his board. Everything else is free game, right? He didn't specify. Pyra and Mythra are spirits. Shantae is a spirit. Shovel Knight is an assist trophy. Alucard is an assist trophy. Why the fuck can't they be in the game? Out of all the spirits, and you can't say they don't have the license because they're in the game because they're spirits.
See, they were put in as spirits to begin with because Xenoblade 2 was still in development, and the thing about, even if you don't care for Xenoblade itself, the thing you gotta realize is that Monolith Soft is, I think, one of the most important Nintendo acquisitions of the past 20, 30 years, because Monolith Soft has their hands in development of almost anything big and well appreciated that Nintendo has made in the past 5 years. Breath of the Wild, Monolith.
Really?
Yeah, no, Breath of the Wild had Monolith help. That's why there's a Xenoblade costume in Breath of the Wild.
Okay, great. Didn't answer my question. Why can't I have Shantae? Why can't I have... If they're right. They're was no rule.
Not first party. Shantae's
That's
not
true.
first party.
Okay, what does it matter? Neither is Joker.
They don't have to
There's got to be at least
acquire
one.
the rights, so it's a lot easier.
Right,
to
yeah.
do
But
a
they already,
DLC
but they already
character
have
that
rights.
you- Yeah,
But
no,
they
it's
already
a
have
lot-
rights.
It's a lot easier to do a DLC character that you already own when most of the characters you've gotten for DLC are characters that take literally... Steve was in talks to be in Smash for like 5 years. That's a lot of time and effort to put to try and get a
Wait,
character
seriously?
for DLC. Yeah, they were talking... They were trying to... Steve could have... If I assume if talks went well, like went better, and things were easy, Sakurai figured out how to do it a lot easier, Steve might have been a base game edition. Steve was in talks. They were in talks with Microsoft before the game released. That's why so many leakers were talking about Minecraft content in the base game.
I hate to be a debate bro, but if you ever find like a source for this, please send it to me because I would love to read it.
Yeah.
Even if it is, it doesn't matter because they have to get the rights to some degree to put their likeness in the game. Shantae may be WayForward, and they may be a smaller third-party developer, but they have to pay WayForward some kind of money to put Shantae's picture in the game. She's in the game as a spirit.
Here, I'll drop the source in the chat. That's just a thing going over the chat, but it has links to the Mojang developer who is straight up saying at 5 is when, like 5 years ago,
at least 5 years.
Yeah, at least 5 is when talks started between Nintendo and Mojang. So
shit.
Yeah,
oh my
it's,
God.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. You're not
That's
acknowledging my
crazy.
point, though.
Sorry, I was pulling up the source. What was your
Well,
point?
I mean,
Yeah, Richard.
well, his point was that out of all the characters, why because you
No,
already
no,
have
Oh
my
wait,
point-
I will also say real quick, going back a second, and I'll address your point. Other games that Nintendo has helped develop, that Monolith has like had a hand in development. The past several Animal Crossing games, both Splatoons, past several Zelda games.
I'm not
Brawl.
saying they didn't deserve. I'm not saying they didn't have a. I'm not saying they didn't deserve a spot. My point is that they had WayForward is not owned by Nintendo, correct? Am I wrong?
It's not at all. No.
Okay, so if they're not paid, but Shantae's name and likeness is in. There's a picture of her in the game, correct?
Yes.
So they had to pay to some degree WayForward
They-
to use her likeness.
They had to make some sort of a deal, not necessarily
Right, correct.
pay.
So maybe it wasn't
Probably was some
right,
kind of
but
money.
somebody got something out of it, correct? There was some contract that said
Yes.
we are using your licensed character in our game. Okay,
Sure.
why not Shantae then? Shantae was already in the game.
Because
First off, I want to make a point. I don't care about Shantae.
Okay, listen, because you have to consider that the amount of time and money it takes to develop a full character for a video game compared to the amount of time and money it takes to send a
might have
couple
been in a spot.
emails and be like, hey, can we include a small bit of content from your character? Can you send us any assets that you would want us to use? And send... That there's a massive difference in the amount of time and money. Making video games is expensive as fuck.
Absolutely, but my point is that they spent all their money on a character. You're right. Using a character. Okay, then this leads into my bigger
promote a
problem with
first-party
all of Smash.
IP.
Yeah, why? Yeah, Pyra and Mithra. Everybody loves Pyra and Mithra. She's the pilot of this pack.
Because Nintendo at its core is still a corporation, and as much as I would love for the whole vision of Smash being a celebration of gaming as a whole to be like what it is in the eyes of everyone, at the end of the day, it's still Nintendo's game. It's still Nintendo's series, and it's for a long time it was a celebration of Nintendo. So Nintendo is always going to prioritize their IP before anyone else's IP. And it was already said multiple times. Sakurai had went on record multiple times saying that Xenoblade 2 content was planned for the base game. The game wasn't far enough along in development for when Smash was going to come out. So they put in a couple Mii costumes, they put in a couple spirits, and likely had, ever since they realized it wasn't going to be possible for base game, had planned to include some Xenoblade 2 content as DLC. It's
here's my argument.
Sure, but like, it's still Nintendo. They're still gonna prioritize their IP above anyone else's IP.
Then it just shows you how much money they don't have, because all of Challenger Pack 1, 2, 3, 4 of them out of the 5 are not third party. Excuse me, they are not Nintendo characters except for Byleth. This one has Min Min and Pyra. What, is Challenger Pack 11 gonna be fucking Waluigi?
I'm sorry, but let's not kid ourselves. Nintendo is the richest company in Japan. They have plenty of money.
Yeah, no, they have plenty of money.
Arguably next to Sega, because they have Persona.
I think a lot of what it is that they still want to include their own IP.
Which I respect.
As great as it would be to have all these big crazy third-party characters as all the DLC, it's never gonna happen because that takes so much negotiation. The only third-party character I can see as having been any easy to negotiate outside of the first-party characters, the only DLC I can see that would have been easy and not taken like 5 years is stretching it, but not taken several years to discuss, is Kazuya, because Bandai Namco are the people who make the game.
Right.
Okay, yeah, see, here's the thing, though. That's cool, and I respect what you say, but fuck what you say, because here's my point. Okay, fine. Fuck Pyra/Mythra. Why not any other Nintendo character that's not in the game normally that's a spirit?
Because Pyra and Mythra are from Xenoblade 2, and Xenoblade 2 is a current Switch title. All of the DLC first-party characters are new characters from current Switch titles.
Yeah, but the whole point of the spirit system is to display characters, whether it be Nintendo or not, that quote could not find full movesets for.
That's not.
But still wanted to represent them. I'm going to pull it up. I'm pulling it up.
Give me a source on that where it's stated concrete that that's the exact and only reason they're spirits. Spirits are included in the game because they can include them. There's no reason. Like I'm sure some of the World of Light fights were designed with a similar mindset to that, but it's never been a concrete. You're doing the same thing all Smash things do. You heard something that sounded like a rule and assuming it means it's a hard rule that they're following.
Correct. It's not a rule.
Yeah,
you are absolutely.
You've been doing that for a while.
You are absolutely right. It is not a rule. Then why did the spirits exist in the first place?
To include content that otherwise wouldn't be in the game.
Right,
and
but
also,
that's dumb.
And also to give it a story mode. To give it a story mode that wasn't.
It was trash.
But the thing is that since we were never going to get a story mode like Subspace again because of how the cutscenes leaked. Sakurai has gone on record saying it was really disappointing seeing how the cutscenes were posted to like YouTube and whatever right after the game.
But that's classic Nintendo's old school mentality. That's going to happen with any game that happens. It won't matter. Death Stranding was leaked before the game came out. Like, it won't matter.
I get why it'd be I get why a lot of the first party characters in the DLC would be disappointing to a lot of people because they're like newer characters and there's a lot of characters that are older and more legacy that people would want to see. But I think part of why it's like this is because we already got a lot of legacy characters that people wanted to see that are Nintendo characters in the base game. And I think they still have to, they're still going to want to push and advertise their own IP, especially newer stuff. And this game is already very universally seen as a celebration of, like, not just Nintendo, but gaming as a whole. Nintendo's whole ass history, for the most part, is already represented in Smash. They don't have, like, they could pull extra characters that have meaning or whatever, but for the most part, any notable Nintendo IP is already in Smash to some capacity. I mean, sure, there's stuff like Rhythm Heaven that, like, Rhythm Heaven, I think, deserves a character. It's probably never going to get a character because it's so niche. But characters like Byleth, Pyra/Mythra, and Min Min are newer from big new games that you can go out and buy on the same console as this Smash game. I think that's why they were chosen. And to be fair, I do think something like ARMS and Xenoblade 2 should have been in the game. Those were both big new Nintendo IPs when the game came out that everyone was like, huh, why aren't these here? The only one I can see an argument against... The only one I can get the argument against is Byleth, because Fire Emblem is so heavily represented already. And I think Byleth is the most corporate one of them all. And I think it's the same as Corrin in Smash 4. I think it's that Nintendo realizes how much money Fire Emblem makes them. How they literally just sit on that mobile game and get millions of dollars from it.
Oh yes.
Fire Emblem is, I think, one of Nintendo's most profitable IPs nowadays.
But it takes too much money to get third parties, right?
Which is funny because I've never met a single person who has ever played that Fire Emblem mobile game.
Played it literally for a day.
So much money though.
Yeah, I've played it. I mean, you gotta consider it's not necessarily all about the money. It's also about the time and effort it takes to develop a character, to discuss with the third party. I'm sure there's plenty of characters that they wanted to put in the game that discussions fell through and they couldn't wind up doing. There's any number of factors that get in the way of a third-party character getting into the DLC for a Smash Bros. There are literally almost no factors that get in the way of a first-party character.
Right, but then,
yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
No. Because here's my argument. Then fuck that. All of Fighter Pass 1 except for Byleth were third parties, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so the hype came from... All of Smash is a celebration of Nintendo characters. So by bringing characters that are not Nintendo characters is the hype. That is their gimmick of this game.
Listen, I'm not going to defend them deciding to end that pass with Byleth. That was a stupid decision. I think if they had swapped around Byleth and Banjo, nobody would give a shit about Byleth being in the game.
No. My point is that Byleth, it doesn't matter. Byleth could have been first. It doesn't matter. My problem is that it's time. That's what it is. Because then if you look at the second DLC pass, we have three third-party characters in that of Sephiroth, Steve, and Kazuya, and Pyramithra and Min Min are first parties. So they spent, I understand there's the whole marketing aspect, but they spent time, effort, months developing Min Min or Pyramithra or Byleth when they could have spent that time getting more licenses for other characters.
You also have to consider that Fighter Pass 2 was not planned until some way into Fighter Pass 1 already having been planned and in development and all.
Okay, but that's not my problem. That's not my problem. That's the consumer still having to buy it. That's Sakurai and Nintendo fucking up.
No. Why?
Well, I think
there should have been more time. There should have been more time. Nintendo should have said, "Okay, hold on."
No, there isn't. There should have been more time. It's this was a thing that wasn't gonna happen, and then they decided, "Hey, you know what? Screw it. We're just gonna give you more stuff." It's not there should have been more time. They didn't make Smash. They did not make Smash Ultimate planning for 2 fighter passes. They made Smash Ultimate and then towards the end planned 1 fighter pass. And then part of the way through the last one, they were like, you know what? Let's just do more of it. Because why not?
But that wasn't Sakurai's decision. That was Nintendo's decision, correct?
Brent.
Why?
Brent, I think no matter which way we look at it, every Smash game is going to, at least to some degree, be disappointing to some people.
Yeah.
They can't include, every
fuck that, I'm hostile out here.
They can't have everyone. They can't.
No, I agree.
Always going to prioritize their own stuff. There's always going to be the characters that you see as grown because they're Nintendo.
I agree. But it was avoidable. Listen, when did Byleth come out? I don't remember the time. Does it say on here?
June of 20.
Now I know. Okay, so now I know. I understand that there is a gap because of COVID or whatever. But first off, the Fighter Pass 2 started before COVID, but even before that, right? Nintendo said to Sakurai, "Hey, listen, we're gonna do Fighter Pass 2. You don't have a choice. Here's your characters, right? Or not here's your characters, but you have to start making a game. Correct? Am I wrong? Because as far as I know, Sakurai didn't want to do DLC at all.
Sure.
We don't know the exact. Things
okay. Either way,
yeah.
you said I agree with you. I mean, I'll take your word.
And it happened.
You said that they started Fighter Pass 2, or at least conceptualizing it, during Fighter Pass 1, which was not planned. Correct, I agree. But that was Nintendo's poor decision in saying, hey, you're making Fighter Pass 2, good luck. They should have finished Fighter Pass 1.
No, that's a really stupid way of thinking about it. Sakurai was probably almost definitely, Sakurai and Bandai Namco and all of the team were part of the discussion. It's not Nintendo going, you're doing this because we said so. It's not. Okay. It's even not if it was some, Sakurai. Book.
Okay, great. Then it wasn't Nintendo. Then it wasn't Nintendo's decision. Then Sakurai's a fucking idiot because he should have got more time to have an idea of what characters they wanted by doing it back to back.
They picked the first party characters because they wanted to pick the first party characters.
I don't believe that.
You're not gonna get every single. That's your problem. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. They made the content for the game that they wanted to make for the game. If they didn't want to do the only time there's ever been a case of any admittance of not really wanting to do something, it was when it was Minecraft Steve, and even then, Sakurai eventually came around to it. That's the only time there's ever been an admittance of a character that has gotten into Smash that there's ever been any reluctance to do. They wouldn't design and develop a character just because they had to. That's not how Smash development.
You don't know that.
We don't know that, but that's not how Smash development has ever worked from what we do know.
Right, but so what that means is they had to come up with the idea of Min Min before Fighter Pass 1 ended. Because Min Min is the first character in Fighter Pass 2.
Yeah.
So they must have started somewhat, even if it's conceptual, development of Min Min. And that's fine.
And literally, Sakurai has gone on record saying that they chose Min Min because he would talk to the person who directed ARMS, and the person who directed ARMS asked for Min Min. Like, asked if they could pick if they're going to do an ARMS character to do Min Min.
Okay, fine. Whatever. Even if that is the case, even if it was first party, there was no gap. By making it back to back, I feel like there was no. I'm not saying there's no development time, but there was no. Okay, you're finishing Byleth. You're doing Min Min. Go. Like there was no there's no gap. By having no gap,
there definitely was a gap. The time things release and the time we find out about them, and
that's
gaps
true.
In development. We don't know how long a character goes from being finished to being released.
No, that's facts, and I agree with that. But my let's just say Min Min was let's say Min Min was Pyro. Fuck it. Let's say Min Min was Waluigi, right? Another first party character. I don't care. Fuck the third party argument. By doing it back to back, you could have used that time to get a third party character. Hi. You could have used that. You could have used that time to do something else.
They could have, but they chose the character they chose to develop for the game. Just so happened to be another first-party character.
Cool, and I think that was a dumb decision.
That's not an argument. That you can say you think that was a dumb decision, and that's valid. That's not an argument at all.
It is an argument.
No,
it is an argument.
For what?
That it's a dumb decision. I didn't say it was fact. I said it was a dumb decision. It was poor choice making. I'm not arguing it's a fact.
You can think it's poor choice making, but it's not.
You're gonna tell me it's good?
For any? No, I'm not saying it's good or bad, but you're talking about it like it's this big argument. When it's not.
I'm not. I'm just getting excited. I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying that my point of opinion is what I believe in. I think it was dumb that they went back to back and didn't have more time. By not having more time, they could have used that time to either flesh out more characters, flesh out more stages, or even get more third-party characters.
Or very likely an alternate future where they take a break and take that time leads to them just deciding, you know what, we don't need to make any more DLC.
That's true.
And then none of what we had would exist. It's not like it was a planned thing. It was like... Again, we don't know enough of the details to really know for certain how things went. But we know that it was decided at some point during Fighters Pass 1 that they wanted to make 2. If they didn't discuss doing a Fighter Pass 2 until after Fighter Pass 1 was done, or well after, likely the team that made Smash Bros. And the team making the characters would have moved on to other projects within their respective companies, and the discussion either might not have happened at all, or might have been considerably lesser, and it could have been an all first party pass for all we know.
That's true, but but by that logic, it also could have been an all third party roster.
But I'm saying that it's not that simple, because the decision being made during active development gave them the time to, they arguably had more time to think about Smash Bros. While making stuff for Smash Bros. The second Smash Bros. Is, done and they're not working on Smash Bros. Anymore, they're not thinking about Smash Bros. Anymore, because these are people that work at these companies that are always developing several different things at once. And once you finish a project at a game studio, you don't just sit there idly for a couple months. You immediately start working on something else.
Yeah, that's called having a job. That's my point. That every
and their job likely would
and their job, so go back to Kirby or whatever. Right, I agree. So, but in that downtime, they should have said, "Hey, we're gonna make a Fighter Pass 2. We should get some rights. We should see and sit down." Sakurai should be like, "What does Sakurai do besides Smash?" I don't even think he works on Kirby anymore, right?
He has his own separate company. He's a contractor for Nintendo at this point.
Okay,
but the point I'm trying to make is that downtime wouldn't exist. There would be no downtime. There'd be no more Smash. That'd be done.
No, I don't believe that. You're really telling me Nintendo would be like, okay, we can't get you guys all back again to continue DLC work? You're really telling me they wouldn't do that?
They could try, but chances are it would be a lot more difficult to make that decision after the game was done and people moved on to different roles than it would be during it, unless you're an advocate for crunch.
I'm not an advocate for crunch. I'm an advocate for them getting paid to do their job.
Yes, and their job would require, once this project is done, if
to
they
come back,
release,
yeah.
No, it wouldn't at all. Because once the project, once the project is done, once Smash Bros. Is done, if that decision to make more Smash Bros. Has not been made when it's done, everyone is just going to go under the assumption that it's done. If Nintendo were to then, 6 months later, be like, you know what, we do want to make more DLC, then it'd be significantly harder to get all of the same people, or even possibly any of the same people, to come back, because they would have all moved on to different projects, because there was no confirmed continuation of what they were just working on.
Okay, first off, they're corporate drones. They don't care that much. The programmer Steve Jobs, John Smith down the road, when he goes to work for Kirby and they need to get somebody else for Smash Ultimate 2, they're not going to call John Smith back. They don't care. But I understand what you're saying with the creative minds. I understand the leaders. I understand that. But what they should have done is do what every other company does, like Capcom. Okay, the people working on DLC for Capcom, when the new season comes out, when they make the new character, the new stage, the new music, they're like, okay, John Smith, we're making, actually, what is his name? I don't even fucking remember his name. The Logan Paul look-alike dude. The fucking new guy. He actually looks like Logan Paul. Anyway, when they get him, they're like, okay, everybody, we're working on this game. Now, when we make this character, we're going to make him. Well, okay, you know what, let me back up. Let's not use him because he's the final character in Smash, Street Fighter V. Let's say, Akira, right? The rival school character. Alright, everybody, get together, we're making rival school character, okay? And then when that's done, sure, there are people working on the next character. That is 1000% true. And I'm sure that when they were making Season 2, whatever the Season 4, I think it was, of Street Fighter 4 Industry Season 5, there were people who carried over. But they didn't have, let's say the 50 people working on Akira, right, the character. When Akira's done, all 50 of those people don't just immediately work on the new character. They have to go do their other thing. Akira might, I mean, again, that's also a specific example.
Street Fighter 5, I would say, is also a bad example because, like it or not, that game is very much in vein of games as a service, where they've been making content for that game constantly. No matter the size of the content, whether it be a character or a shitty-looking skin, they've been working and had active development on things for that game from the moment it launched to today. That's not the best example. Something like Smash isn't something that there's constantly being things pumped into. Sure, there are like the Spirit events, but we don't know when those are gonna end. Aside from the Spirit events, it's been a static thing. The only time the game really gets a major update or changes in any capacity is when a new character comes out.
Right. But what do they do in that downtime? Like, I really don't think John Smith's working on that. The John Smith that worked on Min Min is the same John Smith that worked on Steven Alex. It's the same John Smith that worked on Sephiroth. It's the same John Smith that worked on Pyro. It's a moot point. It's a moot point, even if he is.
Neither of us.
Right, even if he is. Okay, fine. Then let's negate the argument. If Smash Pass 1 stopped, right? They finished it, and midway through development of Smash Pass 1, they said, "Hey, Sakurai, we're doing Smash Pass 2." Sakurai's like, "All right, bet. Here's the thing. I want third-party characters." They're like, "All right, that's cool, but it's going to take money and time." They're like, "Okay, how much money and time?" "Well, go find your characters, go talk to people, figure it out, and then when you come back, figure it out." So let's say he figures that out. Hero time. Terry comes out, so Byleth is left. Byleth is already in development. At this point, Sakurai would have either had an idea, even if it wasn't in talks, even if there was no legal trouble. When they finished Fighter Pass 1, if they gave Sakurai, the legal team, 2 months, two months, to say, "Hey, all right, I want this license, this license, this license. I've talked to all these people. My legal team's got to figure it out. Here's the money." First off, it's only 2 months. I understand what you're saying. If it's like 6-7 months, that's 1000% true. But like I said,
how do you know that didn't happen?
Because we have first-party characters. Okay, you're right. Your argument's about the first-party characters. My argument is that they shouldn't be in the game in the first place because it should be a celebration of other characters.
And see, even still, and that's where you're completely misunderstanding the entire franchise. As much as everyone wants it to be that big celebration of gaming, as much as someone like Sakurai probably even sort of sees it like that, as much as they sort of have started to lean into it a bit more and sell it, it's still a Nintendo crossover game, above all else.
That's true.
All of the characters that are third party have always been treated like guests.
Okay, that's true. That's facts. But then why spend time and money on first party characters that are already selling?
Because they'll sell more.
Yeah, okay. I want to see Xenoblade 2's sales before. No, you know what? Xenoblade's a bad example because they're really hot. These characters' boobs are bigger than their face. I want to see Arms' pay rate for before and after Min Min. I want to see Byleth before and after. I really don't. I understand what you're saying. It's an ad, and I understand, and I agree with that.
The only character whose sales you'd probably be able to notice is Min Min.
Okay, then I want to see the time people have played those games for, because it's probably like, all right, here's this character, I'm going to buy it. Because Nintendo fans, we talk about Smash fans, Nintendo fans be like, "No, fucking Skyward Sword is trash, it's fucking stupid port, here's $60, so I don't want to hear it. I bought this character because Min Min's in this game, and then it has 5 minutes on it, I don't want to hear it." But if you want to, you know, I understand and I understand the argument with Pyra and Mythra because the character wasn't finished yet, but you didn't. No, I don't respect that, because if it's you want your first party characters in there because of advertisement, that makes perfect sense. But they made all 4 first DLC characters third party, and then give us Byleth. The problem is that it's Byleth. The problem is that it's a first party character trooped in with all these people. Even if Byleth was first, it doesn't matter. Byleth should have been an on-disc character, because then the DLC should have been exclusive for third parties. They spent time and money and resources on a first party character. Again, Pyra and Mythra didn't come out yet. I'll give you that. They could have just did Rex. It wouldn't have mattered. I mean, what they should have did. You know what they should have did? Here's the best argument I can make. Fuck every single Echo character that doesn't have anything different. Third-party characters. What does Richter have anything to do with this fucking game besides have different color fire?
No, we know for a fact, and it has been stated multiple times, that the Echo Fighters take literally very little effort to develop, and the only alternative to them, existing is that they don't exist. There's no, this time and effort could have gone into a different character. It's if they didn't take the extra hour or two to, you know, work on this slightly altered model of Marth to be Lucina. It's not that time would have gone into a different character. It's that time would have gone into literally nothing, and that character wouldn't be in.
But then I can make the argument. Why isn't every character of an Echo character?
Because not every character has a good idea for an Echo.
I could make the argument. Why isn't every character in this game? Every character in fiction. Why aren't they in the fucking game? I can make the
argument, why isn't Bart Simpson in this game?
Because he follows the one who Sakurai had.
Listen, Ness's dad is already Spirit in the fucking game. Why don't they add Ness's dad in the fucking game?
Why is it Mr. Domino in the game? No one can stop it.
Hold on.
Then what about Mr. Domino was even a fucking thing?
What about the argument of then the assist characters?
What about it?
Fucking Alucard has what? He has backdash. He has back transformation.
I mean,
he has
It's
Crisagrim.
okay. Listen, Brett. It's okay. You'll get even more mad when the only assist trophy to get to become a character will be Waluigi tomorrow.
I think it would have been totally super cool if, along with characters as DLC, we got some extra assist trophies. I think assist trophies being like included as part of the bundles would have been fucking sweet.
Right, but Sakurai. All right, I'm gonna get my source on this because I'm almost entirely sure I heard him say this. But even if he didn't say it, it's clear that the assist trophies take way more effort than a Spirit or even an Echo. Correct?
Yeah, that is true. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so they spent a day more because they have to model them Alucard right into the game, and I use Shovel Knight. Fuck it, say Shovel Knight. I don't care. Shovel Knight's in the game. So they had to spend day. There's no way it took like I just did it in an hour. I know what you're talking about, where it didn't take a lot of time to make an Echo, but it takes considerably more time than an Echo, but less than an actual character to make the new fucking assist trophies. Shovel Knight, and Alucard are my examples.
Yeah.
Then why did you spend that time and not just maybe spend 4 more hours or 4 more hours again? I'm just giving an example. 4 more days, weeks making Alucard an actual character.
Because they already had agreed on a character with Konami, and likely the alternative would have been, it would have been a lot more expensive and a lot more time to also do Alucard, when they could just get Alucard and make him the next best thing, and still represent him in a way that feels more proper than not being in the game at all.
Agreed, but you can't say they didn't have the license because he's in the game.
Like they could.
He already has 4 moves.
They totally could have made him a character. But also, there are other characters that they could have made into characters that aren't.
True! Facts!
There's only a limited amount of time and resources that the company is willing to pump into the game. I'm sure almost every character that's like an assist trophy, I'm sure there's someone out there who would, like, die if that character got in the actual game. They'd be so fucking excited. I'm sure there's almost any character you can think of, there's someone like that. But like the assist trophies serve as a way to represent characters that they aren't, for whatever reason it is per character, that they aren't able to represent as a playable fighter.
That is a fact, and that's a great point. Why is Pyra/Mythra in the game? They're a spirit.
Spirits aren't that.
But they're in the. That's what I'm saying. They're in the game. They have
Spirits
the
are
rights
just PNGs. Spirits are just copy-pasted PNGs. They mean almost nothing.
That's right, but they have time. If they have the rights, then that means they could potentially have time to make them a DLC character.
They own the character. That's why.
Shantae! No?
Getting the rights to use a character as a spirit. I'll even go find the source for it. We know for a fact the reason Shantae is in the fucking game is because people at WayForward got an email from Nintendo asking for assets of Shantae they could use for something, and then they just put it in the game.
Right, which must mean that Sakurai didn't want him to be a full character, and that's fine. But if they go through the legal trouble of getting a PNG, even just the likeness, just the name, they should have the likeness. They should have the potential to make them a character.
I'm sure there's plenty of decisions that go into that, and why a character is not made into a full character.
Again, it just goes back to the whole thing with, some characters are easier to add than others. Sometimes Sakurai and Nintendo just wants a character over another character, and we're not always going to be pleased.
That's where my argument comes in, and this is an argument. This is my perspective on it. It's not law. That's my whole argument. That's why I'm getting upset, Austin. Is that I'm not arguing with you. I see where you're coming from. There's a fact, and we are looking at it at 2 different perspectives, 2 different sides of the mountain. Okay, what Sakurai wants, in my opinion, is dumb. It shouldn't be about him. It should be about the game. Now, I understand he's the directive lead, and he could say, fuck everybody, the final character is fucking Goomba, and everybody's just gotta hold that, and I respect that. I like Kojima when he left Konami, and he said, I'm gonna make a mailing game with Death Stranding, you're a mailman. Everyone's like, that's not gonna sell. Boom, fucking everybody loves it. I respect that, okay? But by making you're going out your okay. Do you really think Sakurai went out of his way with Joker? Does he like Persona 5? Did he say that?
Yes.
He absolutely loves it. Yeah.
He likes Hero.
Yes.
Sure.
No, not sure.
No.
Liking the game.
Listen, I will say one thing that a lot of people get wrong with the characters that were chosen for the DLC is that, and it's something that I've admittedly like only looked at one way before. It's that Nintendo gave him a list. He has said this. He did not choose the list of characters. But he definitely did choose the characters from that list. He thought that he wanted in the game.
He wanted, right. But I'm saying is that he chose the list from we were talking about with Terry, right? You're telling me there was definitely other Street Fighter characters on there he could have picked. I'm sure Akuma was on there. There had to have been another fighting character besides Terry.
Chun-Li.
Great example. Why not Chun-Li? Because he likes Terry. I respect that. And now Terry's a bad... Go ahead.
And also, to be fair, SNK is a big part of the gaming industry. They add consoles. So I'm sure that also went into the decision. Like, that is representing a big part of gaming is something that people don't look at as much as Neo Geo and SNK.
Right, big facts, and definitely. But if you look at the video when he talks about Terry, you can tell he really likes it, and I respect that. Mm-hmm. And Terry's a bad example because I think Terry represents stuff. But his view is like, let's say the list is 100 characters, right? We were talking about this list. Banjo-Kazooie is a great addition because it is a series. First off,
it represents a whole era of Nintendo that you can
phenomenal
represent.
Right, because it's under Microsoft. Phenomenal, great. I really, honestly, do not think Sakurai cares. I have no proof, but I don't think that Sakurai really cares about Banjo-Kazooie. But I'm sure he looked at it and says, you know what? I think Banjo-Kazooie would be a great representation
also,
to put in this game.
I do think another thing to actually look at is partially the characters that made it in the base game, and also the fact that the Fighters Pass exists. Because a lot of, up until the DLC, and even part of the DLC, I would say, is still from it, I think the decision-making for most of Smash Ultimate was based on the Smash ballot from Smash 4. Because we already know for a fact, code for Bayonetta existed in Smash 4 long before it was decided that it was over.
Right.
Bayonetta, I think, was not the actual winner of that Smash ballot, and they used that to develop characters and pick characters for Smash Ultimate. Right,
but again, going back to this list, even if we add the Smash ballot into it, he had to pick and say, you know what, I want to put Min Min in, I want to put Sephiroth in, I want to put Kazuya in. Again, I'm sure there's other assets. I'm sure Bandai Namco are like, please, we'll give us another character or put another character in, or I'm sure it's outside forces, but he's picking characters that he wants, not characters that represent anything, or that they don't represent anything, but not characters that best represent what they have.
I mean,
now I get it.
You can make an argument. No, I would say you can make an argument that most of the characters that represent something are a good representation.
Great, absolutely, that's fact. But then what does Pyra Mythra represent? An RPG, right?
Xenoblade 2.
Right, an RPG. Do we not already have Hero, Joker, Sephiroth, Cloud?
Yeah, but they also are, a Monolith Soft character that represent that big part of Nintendo, where Monolith Soft literally is half the reason that half the big Nintendo games recently are able to get made.
And dig Nintendo out of their own grave, yes.
I mean, the Xeno series, you gotta consider also the attachment to the Xeno series, which, while it's not deliberately content from something like Xenogears or Xenosaga, it's all a big overarching, big quotation marks, series that has been going on for decades. Okay. And that's kind of a sort of big deal. And Shulk kind of also represents that. But I think it has a lot to do with the fact that Xenoblade is also just one of Nintendo's bigger RPG series now. Xenoblade is growing bigger and bigger with every game.
That's big. It's still not as big as Persona 5, but it definitely has that Persona 5 edge of where everybody just likes it now. Yeah. I agree. No, that's facts. But again, my argument is that with this list, he really had to say Pyra Mythra. First off, could have been anybody else. Could have been Rex. Could have been anybody else. But
no, it was deliberately chosen not to be Rex.
Yeah, because of selling value, because boobs and thighs and ass.
From what it was said, I think it was something just to do with Rex wouldn't be as interesting. Because Rex...
Sure.
Because, the way Xenoblade 2's combat works, Rex is never actually doing the fighting. He's just, like, standing there, cheering them on. He kind of...
Why not Nia?
Bit. Like, I would have liked Nia, but...
And I mean...
You can only pick one character from the game. We were lucky we got the... Yeah, that's the thing, but really, it's still one character.
And I mean, yeah, everyone's all sick of those anime sword fighters, so now we get 2 anime sword fighters.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Anime sword fighters, get them out of the fucking game. Pyramithra, phenomenal choice. Alright, bro, whatever.
Better than Byleth.
If they threw Fire Emblem in, like, parentheses around Xenoblade 2 somehow, and then everybody would have fucking hated Pyramithra. Facts.
See, I think a lot of the hate of anime swords characters is really just closeted, I hate Fire Emblem, stop putting Fire Emblem in the game. Or
they hate getting spaced out by sword characters. One or the other.
Nobody complained about Hero, who is literally the original anime swordsman.
Nobody cared about Sephiroth, who reaches the entire fucking screen.
It's really just, we don't like Fire Emblem. Stop giving us Fire Emblem. That's all it is. And I mean, it's cool if you're not excited about Fire Emblem. But I do think you have to sort of at least respect. There's a reason so many Fire Emblem characters get in the game. Like, sure, maybe you could argue it's got maybe a bit too many. You could get rid of, like, a Corrin and nobody would really get upset. But, like, Fire Emblem's kind of a bigger deal than a lot of Smash fans want to acknowledge.
Alright. Before we spend another 2 hours talking about it, how about we go through our top 3 and bot... Let's go through... Hey, real quick.
Alright, go ahead and do that.
Let's actually talk about the thing that's going to happen.
I gotta take my trash out. Fuck.
Okay. I guess can start.
How about before we go to that, top 3 favorite DLC picks and top 3 least favorite?
Alright, well I guess my top 3, Banjo, Steve. It's a toss-up for the last one of the 3. Banjo and Steve, definitely way up there for me.
Right.
Because, those are things that I have an attachment to one way or another. I played Minecraft for way too long. I really dig, like, seeing, a Pyramithra, Kazuya. Joker's great. I would say maybe Joker for just the shock value of Persona getting in at all. Let alone
I remember like me and you. I remember me and you multiple times. You kept saying, "Man, Persona would be cool in Smash."
Yeah,
it's probably not going to happen.
Talk about it all the time.
It's not going to happen. And then we would just like casually just throw it away and talk about some other more likely character, and then it happened.
And then
like,
Persona happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I would go Banjo, Steve, Joker. That'd be my top 3.
My top 3 would probably end up being on the very top. I'm gonna have to say Joker. It's a very, very close call between Joker and Sephiroth being the number 1. It's gonna have to be Joker because we didn't have Persona in there before, and I honestly didn't think we would get it at all. And Persona music is fantastic anyway, so that, and I play Joker more than I play Sephiroth in the actual game anyway.
I'm still so happy.
So probably Joker.
Still so happy we got music from 3 and 4.
Oh that's even
so good.
Fucking cool. We have Lotus Juice in Smash.
Maybe it would show.
Amazing.
Maybe it would show kids that there's other games besides Persona 5. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they did.
No, there aren't. What are you talking about? No.
I'm talking about the.
No,
you're right. No, you're right.
What really throws me a loop is that in the sound test, it does actually credit Revelation's Persona as the thing for the Velvet Room theme. That throws me for a loop.
Fuck, you're actually right. So yeah. For me, number 1 Joker. For me, number 1 Joker, number 2 Sephiroth, and number 3 probably Banjo and Kazooie. It's a close tie between Banjo, Kazooie, and Kazuya. I'm gonna have to go with Banjo and Kazooie because I barely play Kazuya. He's too complicated for me. Banjo
just hold A and do 40%.
Banjo is just eggs and grenade, and it's fun and stupid.
Funny snake.
Banjo is definitely the most
funny snake. Yeah.
I hate using this term because like Smash players say it all the time. He's the most like Scrimblow, Bimblow, cartoony.
I don't even know what that means.
It's like cartoony Western platformer character is what it is.
Sorry, I started playing real fighting games and got out of the community. I'm sorry.
I regret knowing.
No, it's not even a. It's like Scrimbo Bimblo is a term used to like make fun of people who feel like too overly nostalgic for like random 90s 3D platformers that they played 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So when people
You mean having an opinion?
When people were excited about Banjo-Kazooie, they were just like, "Oh my god, guys, look, it's Scrimblow Bimblow from the classic 90s platformer, guys."
Yeah. They're probably just upset by getting lamed out.
I don't know. I do think Banjo represents like a huge shift for Nintendo as a company, because that's the first time they've ever like really shown a dedication to working with Microsoft. Like Microsoft had been doing their part in putting some of their IP and games onto the Switch. But Banjo was when we finally saw it go both ways, and Nintendo doing something with, like, Nintendo and Microsoft very clearly collaborating on something, as opposed to just, oh hey, we're gonna put, what's it called? What's a Microsoft game that got put on? We're gonna put what's the Metroidvania?
Minecraft.
I mean, Minecraft is a special case because Minecraft
Child of Light?
Everything. No, the Ori and the Blind Forest.
Ori, that's it. Yeah, I think
we're gonna put Ori on the Switch.
Mm-hmm. And Cuphead.
Cuphead's not actually Microsoft funded parts of Cuphead, but Cuphead's not actually owned by Microsoft.
Okay.
It's owned by MDHR. I think they might have actually worked. Like I think Microsoft did work with MDHR to get it to Switch, but it's a weird. The actual ownership of Cuphead is kind of weird.
Okay, my turn. No, shut up. You didn't get me. Let me go.
Wait, no. Let me just say. I feel like out of all the characters in the Fighters Pass, Banjo-Kazooie feels the most at home, and I think he deserved it more than anybody. Okay, now you go.
No, Gino?
Listen, I've been the Gino advocate of this group for the longest time. Gino is one of the characters I've always said I really want. I think it's like actively...
I remember you talking about that during the Grinch leak.
It's not gonna happen. I think here's my speculation. Here's my speculation. I think more than ever before, Sakurai really pushed for it to happen as DLC for this game, and still couldn't make it happen. That's just pure speculation, nothing to back it up. But I think that's likely how it went. I think likely there was an active push by Sakurai and maybe even like the dev team to try and make Gino happen, because Gino definitely was one of like the top 5 in that Smash ballot. Gino's been one of the most requested characters for over a decade now. And I think it's just a matter of whatever rights issues Gino was caught up in between Square Enix and Nintendo wasn't worth it to one corporation or the other.
Yeah, get another fucking Final Fantasy VII character in there instead.
All right. Brent, top 3, and then we'll go around again with our bottom 3.
Are we judging this by personal favorite?
Just personal favorite.
All right. Terry.
Really, Terry's your number 1.
Yeah, because I actually played. It was funny because it's funny because you guys were there when you met Jesus. I met Jesus when I worked at 3 Square, and he was like, "Dude, you gotta play King of Fighters with me." And we were playing that like 2017, so like a whole year. I basically converted into playing KOF, and then it was like, "Oh yeah, Terry." I'm like, "Oh, word." I mean, remember shock value. I'm not counting. I'm counting characters that I was like, "Damn, this is the shit." So Terry. Kazuya, probably? Because ironically, I got into Tekken like the year before Kazuya came out again.
Basically,
somehow that just happens. So I'll give it Kazuya.
It do be like that.
It do also do 40% by just holding A. You know what I'm saying?
I did find it funny that Kazuya got put in the Smash right after. Like as a collective group, we started to actively playing Tekken.
Yeah, what the fuck was that about? Listen, everybody get on the floor right now. No, So, final... I guess... Just for the stupid haha funny, I'll give it Steve. Because I remember when it came out, I was at work, and Austin's like, yeah, Minecraft Steve. I'm like, yeah, all right. And he's like, no, seriously. I'm like, I don't believe you. And then I got home, and I'm like, you got fucking kidding me,
That
bro.
is literally the story of how I found out Cloud was in Smash
That is,
4.
yeah, I was
Austin
watching it at work, and I
Austin
texted you,
me
and you didn't believe
saying
me.
Cloud in Smash. I'm just like, I legitimately believe you are lying to me. And then I hop on Twitter, he's trending, and I see the screenshots. I'm like, wait, he was serious?
You gotta be fucking shitting me, bro.
So what it is that when
alright.
I tell you a character gets into Smash next time, a thing is gonna happen. Actually, believe me.
That's how you know. That's how you know. It's real.
Alright, hurry up.
All right, Austin.
Bottom
Now
three.
you're bottom 3.
Bottom 3. I mean, there's not any that like. I don't know. I'm really satisfied with all the DLC. If I'm being honest, there's none that I'm like not super
How many
into. So like,
How many hours have you played Min Min?
that's the thing. If I had to have one that's at the bottom, it's probably Min Min. ARMS is cool. I never actually owned ARMS, so I never like got into it. So like,
Violets more than I played Min Min.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, I like Byleth. I actually think Byleth was a cool
Facts.
addition. Everyone gets pissed off about Byleth because Fire Emblem. I don't. Byleth is not part of my bottom 3 at all. I think Byleth is great. I think Three Houses is great. I think Three Houses is one of the best Fire Emblem games we've gotten in the past like 5 years.
Facts.
But I guess, I don't know. The only character that I would say would be anywhere close to a bottom is Min Min, and that's just mostly indifference from me. Like, I don't feel too strongly about Min Min. ARMS is cool enough. She's fun to play as whenever I do play as her.
All right, go ahead, Richard, because I'm already gonna get everybody triggered.
Okay. My bottom 2, my bottom 3, are probably going to be, like, number 3 would probably end up being, honestly, probably Pyra/Mythra. When Pyra/Mythra got announced, I felt nothing. Once they released them, I downloaded them, didn't play them, played the stage maybe once, and that's pretty much it. I had absolutely no interest in Pyra/Mythra.
The Xenoblade music that came with Pyra/Mythra was really good. Like,
Oh, yeah, sure,
The stage is
yeah.
but Xenoblade never misses with its music.
Yeah, I just didn't care. Number 2 on my least favorite, definitely Hero. Nothing against Dragon Quest. Nothing against,
You don't like RNG's character?
The
You
music.
hate
Don't
the
like-
music.
don't like
exactly
Critical
it. I
Hit?
just can't
You
stand
don't like
how
him?
Hero plays. I hate fighting against
find
Hero.
him so
I hate playing as
funny.
Hero. I hate everything about Hero.
He's so funny.
He's infuriating.
He's
I don't
so
understand
funny
how
because
people are like.
he pisses
I don't
everyone
understand how
off.
people are like- I don't like, dude. I don't understand how people are like, dude. I hate getting lamed out by fucking Funny Snake, fuck Banjo. Meanwhile, you play fucking. I'm gonna press B twice and insta kill you. Facts.
It's so funny
know.
though. It's so funny how stupid Hero is. You literally just down B, explode half
I
the
gotta do-
stage.
I gotta do all this
I
work
hate
as
it.
Ganon to get in and do
And-
damage. And
That's-
you gotta
See,
critical
that's
hit
why
and forward.
I can understand why Smash players kind of hate Hero, but like part of the reason, a lot of the reasons people hate Hero, I love. It's a perfect representation of, you know, Dragon Quest, this big monolithic series that like you think is like this big respectable thing, and no, it's just goofy and stupid the whole time. That's like a perfect representation of how Dragon Quest like is as a series. Everyone talks about it being, you know, the big monolith of Square Enix. There's holidays in Japan for when it comes out. But then you actually play the game and it's really stupid and everything's a pun and it's all jokey.
Listen, I'm not gonna argue this any further, but all I'm saying is that it would be nice if Hero was banned from tournaments. I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying it would be nice. But
I don't
my
care
bottom
about the
three,
tournaments anymore, so.
but my bottom 3, you know it. It's gotta be Byleth. Byleth was announced. Didn't care. Didn't like another Fire Emblem character. Played the stage once. Didn't. I don't think I've ever even played as Byleth a single time in the game.
And then they gave you your shirtless gay boy, and you were like, yes.
Oh fuck yeah! Are you kidding me? Listen, the difference.
Sephiroth is just edgy Violet.
Final Fantasy VII is
Sephiroth.
cool, and Fire Emblem it's decidedly not. Sephiroth was a good choice for the video.
How do you spell
game,
Aerith?
for
How do you spell
Smash
Aerith?
Brothers
How do you spell Aerith?
with a TH. Anyway, go bottom 3.
Okay, here I got you. 3. So not like the 3 is being not as bad. Probably Pyra/Mythra. Sorry, Min. I'm sorry. Don't really care. Pyra/Mythra, I'm second place. I really just don't like what she stands for. I think it was dumb. Bet worst. You ready? Here it is. Dead serious. I'm gonna give you one paragraph and I'm gonna shut the fuck up. You ready?
It's Joker.
Fuck Joker. All right. First reason, I hate Persona 5. Reason number 2. He killed the competitive game. Everybody's got an honest game to some extent. This guy can literally just exist and get a comeback mechanic. Fuck you. That's it. I'm done. What's the next topic? Who we think? Who we think is going to be the next character? Quick. Before I do something else.
I think the rumors are likely true in that it's probably either Sora or Master Chief. I don't know which one of the two. There's not really anything definitive. I think that's very likely what it could be.
I'm gonna go full on the train here and saying that it's going to be Master Chief because Nintendo and Microsoft have been so buddy-buddy throughout the past 3 to 4 years, and it's just, we already have 3 Capcom characters. And we have 3 Sega characters. We already have 2. Why? There's literally no reason why we shouldn't have a 3rd Microsoft character. And if you're going to get Microsoft characters, you have to get Master Chief. There's just no way you can't have Master Chief.
I actually would argue that's not entirely true because, like it or not, I mean, it has already gotten in some capacity with Bethesda. Bethesda has been working with Nintendo far longer than Microsoft has, and Bethesda is part of Microsoft now. So you could legitimately make an argument that the Dragonborn has more of a chance than Master Chief. I get he's already a skin in the game.
Right, but they had to. Right, but didn't the Bethesda acquisition happen like after Ultimate came out?
Ultimate came out, but it was still in the midst of happening when they announced the Vault Boy skin. And considering the way Microsoft has allowed Bethesda to be mostly autonomous, very likely the actual acquisition wouldn't have changed very much.
Mm. But I still think it's a little less likely for Dragonborn to get in compared to Halo.
But you could also make an argument
for Halo. Solely because of what Brent was arguing about earlier. But true. I'll let you finish and then Brent can go.
You could also make an argument about a potential another Rare character.
Really?
Because Rare is more in line with Nintendo. Like, of course,
Conker would fuck shit, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, someone like Conker. Even though Conker's such an adult character, it could happen. Conker was published by Nintendo.
Yeah.
Conker was less censored on Nintendo than he was Microsoft.
Oh, here, I got you. First party character. There are fake porn stars in a game called BMXXX. It's an official Nintendo game.
No.
Get it. It has Nintendo's seal of approval. They fucking made it. It's a first-party game.
I guess that is a good point. Yeah. If it would be a first-party, who would you want it to be? Who would be the most exciting first-party
if it's a first...
I don't care.
I really don't want it to be a first-party. That's the thing, though.
But, surely there's at least some Nintendo franchise that would be cooler to get a character from...
You know what? I think the only character who I would probably be okay with would be Fawful.
Fawful would be cool, but I don't know. Mario is, Mario.
But he's first party.
But also, Alpha Dream is dead.
Okay, then
but I mean, I'm not talking about which one's the most likely. I'm just saying which ones I would want.
Alright, fine. You tell me what first party character you want.
Me? If I were to go first party...
Don't say a Pokemon.
No, I wouldn't say a Pokemon. We've had enough Pokemon. If it was going to be anything even remotely Pokemon adjacent, I would want it to be some random non-Pokemon character from the games. Give me Professor Oak or some shit.
Gary fucking Oak.
That would actually be a legitimately fun Pokemon character. Professor Oak shows up and beats the shit out of Mario. But, I'm trying to think, I know there's a few, you know what, I'll give it to Rhythm Heaven. Either Rhythm Heaven or a WarioWare character. An
the Rhythm Heaven reporter.
Or Rhythm Heaven, they were apparently going, at least rumored to have been in Smash 4 trying to put the chorus kids from Rhythm Heaven. I think Rhythm Heaven is one of the few Nintendo franchises left that would have something interesting to bring that also is barely acknowledged.
Wait a minute, hold up. It just came to me, wait a minute. Chibi Robo.
Chibi Robo also would be really cool. But Chibi Robo is dead.
Yeah.
Chibi Robo is a corpse. It's unfortunate.
You know what's interesting is, and one of the reasons why I think it also should be Master Chief is, you guys know the idea. Well, it wasn't an idea. It was, I don't know if it was proven, but there was a bunch of support for it that James Bond was going to be in Melee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that whole item that they had to make the source.
It's still in the game, isn't it?
Yeah, the proximity mine. They had to change what it was from because it was from GoldenEye, but they couldn't say it was from GoldenEye.
It's still in the game, right? Like an Ultimate, I mean.
I'm not sure actually.
Okay, but it was in one of the, I know it's in Brawl because I've been killed by that shit too many times. But yeah, I just think it'd be cool, even if it's not Master Chief. Because here's my thing.
They rechanged it. They changed it.
I mean, I don't even care if they changed the name. The item still does the same thing.
Yeah, it looks different, but it is still the same item.
I respect that. Anyway, because like I said, I understand third party. I'm not gonna get into this argument again, but shooters aren't represented at all. I get it. Shooters are generally more adult. I get that, but like, I really can't. Like, okay, because we were talking. Because I think I was talking to Austin one time, Richard, about this, and I was curious, and I'll ask Austin again. I'm curious on both your opinions. And maybe I'm just thinking about this because Metroid Dread's coming out soon, which I'm hyped for. I hate the idea that something has to be like, okay, like I get out of our friend group, I'm the edgiest guy here. I fucking get that. But like, there's a difference between edgy and dark, right? Mm-hmm. Like Shadow the Hedgehog's edgy. Sonic Adventure 2's dark. Two different things. It's the way they present themselves. If they put like, because I had this conversation with Austin, I think, and I had this conversation with Ricky. What if they put like a dual character? Like I'm talking like one in the lead and one in behind, and you could switch between the two of them, of Scorpion and Sub-Zero. And like as if one unit, like they're like ice climbers, but like they have different movesets.
I think of any fighting game characters, like I think we've hit the wall of fighting game characters.
Right.
Where outside of maybe a Chun-Li, you can't get anyone that is more influential and important to the gaming industry than Mortal Kombat.
Right. But the thing was also the other character I potentially wanted. Funny enough, they're also Bethesda and Microsoft would be Doomguy. Mm. But with both of them, they are very adult. They're very edgy. They are edgy. Yeah. They're very gory.
I mean, with Doomguy, I could see the argument of what would his moves be, because his moves in Doom are literally like New Doom. It's literally like grabbing someone's jaw and ripping their skull open. So like, of course, that can't happen. But I do think to some extent, the maturity of the game and the character really is a moot point. I don't think it matters. Nintendo is long past the days of seeing themselves as just for kids.
Now I respect
They started this DLC with Persona, which Persona, while on the surface level looks a lot safer and cleaner, and while sure, Joker is a high school student, he doesn't necessarily
with a gun.
He doesn't. Yeah, I mean, he has a gun, which is just seen. I mean, it's fake in the game, but they don't talk about how it's fake.
They don't say that.
In Smash Bros, they just say, "Is neutral special? Gun." But like if you actually look at themes and things that happen in Persona,
yeah, it's rated M for sure.
It's a very heavy rated M. There's definitely a trend with like the more third-party characters they get, where it feels like they're more willing to be open to, like, if a character is from a mature game. I think the only mature game that maybe I mean, Mortal Kombat's a weird one, but outside of Mortal Kombat, I think the only M-rated game that would ever not feasibly show up in Smash is GTA.
But what I was getting at is even with I understand because what they come from, but like, first off, my argument to that is actually Snake. They actually censored his down throw. His down throw in Brawl was he snapped his neck.
Yeah, of course they have to adapt the character in a way where they can be in a E for everyone game. But you can adapt a character to be in a E for everyone teen whatever setting without betraying that character's nature, and you can be a mature rated character in a
right. Yeah, that's what I was getting at with like Doomguy, right? Because you're talking about like ripping his jaw off. Like, what if, just hypothetical, like like let's say his dash attack, again, just theory crafting.
Yeah.
His dash attack is he just gets his chainsaw out and he just runs at you, right? And that's his attack.
No,
He doesn't have the chainsaw doesn't have to go through you. There doesn't have to be blood. It could just be an attack.
I think here's the thing about Doom especially. I think Doom Guy is super like a good choice. I think Doom Guy is a likely choice. I think everyone's thinking it's the wrong Doom Guy. I think there is not a chance in hell that Doom 2016 Doom Guy is the Doom Guy that gets into Smash. It's going to be the classic Doom Guy. It's going to be the Doom Guy from the original Doom. It's not going to be the Doom Slayer.
Right.
Why do you think so?
Because
it's too mature.
Because I mean partially because it's the maturity factor, but partially because Doom 2016 didn't revolutionize the gaming industry.
Right. But
you'll get a character like Simon Belmont. Why didn't they make Simon Belmont his really shitty anime design? Because that design of Simon Belmont isn't the Simon Belmont that created a whole genre of video games. Well, not created, but you know.
I guess, but there's also an argument to be made about like which interpretation of a character is like currently the most popular. Like the current interpretation of Kazuya is the most popular.
No, but classic Doom has always also been heavily iconic. You can talk about Doom to most people, and sure, because they're newer and recent, people will think of the new 2016 Doom. But I have a good thought that most of the time you talk about Doom, likely the first thing that would pop to people's head, unless you specify which Doom you're talking about, is old school Doom.
I mean, you could also make the argument that if they are going to do like old school Doom, why can't they have the 2016 Doom as like an alt skin?
I mean, they could totally do that.
Are their abilities like significantly different?
Sort of.
Sort of? Okay.
The way you play...
Because I actually don't play Doom.
The way you play modern Doom is a lot more aggressive. And there's, like, melee finisher kills. And, like for the most part, like, you could easily have 2016 Doom as a skin. But I think the default look, the look that the moveset is based off of, would be old school Doom Guy.
Right, but even with the design, I was more or less. I mean, that was a good point, but I was more or less talking about their like you can be hardcore without being graphic about it. I mean, like if you think about it, Marth fucking stabs you through the chest with his neutral special. Like you get stabbed.
No, if you want to talk about
you get shot.
If you want to talk about that, even specifically in Smash, look no further than the spirit fight for that one Metal Gear character.
Oh yes!
That there is no two ways around it. If you know the context, that is nothing more than completely fucked up.
That's facts. You are correct. But I'm saying like with Mortal Kombat, again, it's the source material and all that, but like, you could have, say, Scorpion, do get over here and then like clothesline them, right?
Yeah.
But like, you don't gotta like have their head come off. Like it's just the context of it. You know what I mean? Like Joker is a teenager with a gun that can shoot Lucas.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? But it's all about because it's the game world. That's what makes it okay.
Yeah.
You can cleave Pikachu with a fucking hammer, and it's fine.
And like, I definitely sort of get the.
I really just said cleave and hammer.
I get the argument some people sort of have that. Oh well, when the graphic violence is a big part of their series, when it's like you can't properly adapt that without that. I think there's some validity to that, but I also think you totally Bayonetta. You'll get. There's been so many adaptations. You'll get. I don't think you need like beheadings and skin melting off and X-ray things for like a Mortal Kombat character. I think you could do a classic Scorpion Sub-Zero, base it off the old arcade cabinets, and like you'd have to tone down the blood and you could have a fatality, have it not be super graphic. You can still totally do it.
It could be a meme and just make it a friendship.
They could do
absolutely.
That. It'd be really funny.
But the yes, like the graphic content, I get to an extent because whatever. But that's also why it's further proof. All of this is further proof why I think Halo should be, because Halo 1 originally, Halo 1 and 2, Actually, I think Halo 3 as well. I think all Bungie is rated M. But the only reason it was at least Halo 1 was rated M, and I forget where I read this, I can't prove it, but I'm almost entirely sure I read this somewhere, was because you could shoot the dead bodies and blood would still come out. That was like the defining reason why, which is kind of dumb considering like the flood and all the other scary shit in that game.
There's nothing you could really take out. Like there's nothing you could take. Like in a theoretical Master Chief in Smash, there's no thing that makes Halo rated M that you could
no beheadings, no.
Yeah, you could take away.
Yeah, you could take away every single thing that makes Halo rated M. Put Master Chief in Smash, and he would still be fucking Master Chief.
That was the point I was making with Doom Guy, is that I'd be cool with Doom Guy, but they have to make him, as what I was talking about with Dark and Edgy, they have to make him aggressive. You don't have to kill, you don't have to rip Peach's head off, but you gotta like choke her out or slam her to the ground or something.
You adapt that into their playstyle.
Right, but that's what I was saying was like with Master Chief, is that like while you still, I feel like you could still make Doom Guy, this is all hypothetical obviously, but I feel like you could make Doom Guy still aggressive and angry without being brutal. Like Mortal Kombat, I think is a good non-example, is because I feel like part of Mortal Kombat is the blood and the gore, right? Like that's kind of like one of the main things when you think Mortal Kombat. But like again with Doom's still blood and gore as well. But like I said, like by removing remember even OG Doom, you shoot a shotgun shell into a fucking imp, they explode.
Yeah, perfect example of thing that, it's not necessarily from an M-rated thing, but I think the perfect example of what how you could adapt an M-rated character is the way they adapted Ridley into Smash. You take those things that makes those game rated M, and instead of just using those rated M things in the game because you can't, you make the character feel the way that they feel in their game.
And that's big facts.
Because Ridley feels monstrous. Ridley feels aggressive. He feels exactly like he should. The only thing is that he's like weirdly hunched over because he's too big.
Right, and like that's what I was saying with Master Chief, is I feel like you don't damn his. Again, with Mortal Kombat, you would definitely have to damn them to some extent. I feel like Doom Guy is more possible. You have to damn him to some extent, but I feel like Master Chief, you don't really you take blood out of the shots being splayed into them, and you basically still have the same thing.
You can even pretty easily conceptualize a whole moveset for Master Chief. He's not that hard to do.
But you see, me and you were talking about that though. Because one of that's one of the things we were talking to Richard about this was. Every character, whether they be DLC or not, or third party or not, is Sakurai has made a conscious effort. Well, again, obviously his team, when I say Sakurai, has made a conscious effort to have the characters play or have some gimmick based around the game they come from.
Yeah.
So with Master Chief, because Doom Guy, this would make sense because it makes sense on both of them, to be fair. But with Doom Guy, I would see this argument, but also made a good point that it'd be cool if your dash attack was the energy sword, or your down air was the gravity hammer, or your down throw was he pulls out two SMGs and shoot everything be a different gun. But one of the things Halo revolutionized was you're only allowed to have two guns. Almost every other first-person shooter you had an infinite backpack. So I feel like by giving him only, say, the assault rifle and the pistol, just as an example, it not only is more structured, although it would be less cool. I agree, it'd be cool to have all those weapons, but I feel like it would be more of a like what if his gimmick was ammo consumption, right? What if you only had a certain amount of ammo per life, and then you had to ration that out.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, this is all still going under the idea of Master Chief, but let's say with Scorpion and Sub-Zero. What if the gimmick was Scorpion? My idea was maybe down B, or after you do a 3-hit combo, Scorpion and Sub-Zero switch who's in the lead. So Scorpion's, let's say, his neutral B, right? Scorpion's is his get over here. But with Sub-Zero, it's an ice ball. It's just a projectile. Both of them have different play styles. Scorpion would be in your face. Sub-Zero would be lame as fuck. So you get to play two different character styles depending on who's in front. Now that's not a good example, I guess, because there's no tag mechanic in Mortal Kombat that I know of. But it's the idea that you incorporate
different guns will change your play style if you're
right. So let's say you gave him let's say Master Chief gets like fucking 10 guns, but every gun Neutral B does something different. So you have, if you have the assault rifle, you can be lame as fuck. Well, you got the gravity hammer or the sword, you gotta get in. But that was my rant about Master Chief. Was I feel like
all I know is that his final smash should be the thing with the bomb.
No, his final smash should be.
Richard hasn't seen that yet.
His final smash would be, "Sir, finishing this fight," and then everything explodes.
No, it's me, sir, finishing this fight, and then he jumps out of a spaceship with a bomb, and then just arms the bomb, throws it at him, kicks off the bomb, goes back to the stage, and it blows up. That's what it should be. No, what it should be is
it should be what you're doing at McDonald's, sir. Finishing this Big Mac.
So basically, my choice of who I think it's going to be Master Chief. But how about our?
I do kind of want to at least somewhat talk about Sora too, because Sora does have a somewhat interesting, not legitimate, but very interesting
perfect
4chan whatever leak.
Perfect timing. Really? I don't care. I gotta peek.
Okay. Did you not hear about that?
No, I did not hear about the 4chan leak for Sora.
On July 30th, someone on 4chan made a post saying that they work for
this year.
Yeah, of this year. Saying that they work for Disney's music division or whatever, and that they had gotten a call from Nintendo about acquiring music license for a presentation on October 5th. And of course, they then go Sora's in. It could very easily be Sora Mii costume with Kingdom Hearts song. It could be that, but I do think Sora is a legitimate option for the final character.
You know what?
And I think it would. And here's the thing.
I'm sorry, you go.
I think no matter if it's Sora or Master Chief, if it's one of those two, I'm gonna freak out because I'm super down for either. Because
I'm super down for Sora. We could argue back and forth as to whether or not it's like likely more or less than Master Chief, but Sora would be hyped for. Sora, I would lose my mind over.
I do also think
solely because of the music. The music is the music in the Smash game. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
And we'd get Yoko Shimomura remix of Yoko Shimomura music.
Oh my god!
Oh great, more pianos.
But I do think it's also a good point in that we know for certain this is the final character. They've pointed out so many times that this is the end that there's gonna be no surprise third fighter pass announcement. This is it.
I mean,
this is the perfect opportunity if they were gonna put a fuck you Donald Duck and Goofy are in this video game. This last character be the time to do it, because they do it, they release it, they stop talking about Smash Ultimate.
I love to think of that exact same scenario, but swap Sora for Goku. Sakurai's just like, all right, listen, I know I established the rules, but listen,
the rules.
This is the last time I could do this. I'm breaking the rules, and now whoever directs Smash now might not be me. It may be me in the future, but if it isn't me, they can fucking go crazy. All right, I'm done. Yeah. Fuck you all. Bye.
This is your problem now. Here's Goku.
Exactly. That's
that would be funny. That would be funny. I'd be down for that.
Sakurai's just throwing hands around. All right, guys, fucking whatever. Bye.
I do think Sora represents an interesting, Sora represents an interesting sect of gaming, in that licensed games are a huge thing. They've been a huge thing as long as video games have existed. That is something that you could. Kingdom Hearts is a weird case, but you could consider it a slight representation of licensed games, because it is a license.
Sure, I guess.
Half the worlds in the series are just playing through the movie, but Sora, Donald, and Goofy are there.
It's just Sora, but it's the mermaid Sora dancing.
Swim this way.
Every time I see that, every time I see that new meme format of this lore versus this lore, it's just that, but it's the dancing Sora.
I do think Sora would be a cool addition. I'm totally biased because I love Kingdom Hearts, but I think the music would be great. I think Twilight Town stage would be amazing.
Oh my god.
I think
Wait,
a
wait,
Traverse
wait.
Town
I would hope for
stage would
Scarlet
be
and
amazing. Scarlet.
It's Sora, but it's a chain of memory Sora with cards.
Oh fuck
Man.
yeah.
I'd be
Look,
down
me-
for it.
look,
I
me-
love
me
that
and
game.
Me and Austin actually really like Chain of Memory, so
Kill me.
I'd
Okay,
be
that
down
just
for
give
it.
me Yugi Moto. Fuck it.
I'd be down
Alright.
for it. Yugi would be funny. He's owned by Konami. They could do it.
Fuck yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Wait, Konami owns Yu-Gi-Oh?
Agumon.
Yes,
yeah.
sir. They've owned them since the beginning.
Yeah.
I did not
it's-
know that.
It was a weird thing to begin with because.
It says Konami on the back of the card.
Yeah. 4Kids. No, I mean 4Kids had
Goes to
weird
show you how long
ownership.
it's been since I've held a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
There was a whole legal battle about ownership of Yu-Gi-Oh because 4Kids did like highly not okay things and tried to get away with it.
Exactly.
But Yu-Gi-Oh would be funny. I think Digimon is like something that would be funny to add.
Oh
Because
shit.
Digimon, it gets to a weird. Digimon is a weird case because do you consider a digital Tamagotchi a form of a video game?
Pokemon.
Pokemon was a video game first. Pokemon
I mean-
Tamagotchi things have existed. Digimon
listen.
was a Tamagotchi before it was anything else.
I mean, listen. We life simulators are games, right? I mean, we got
Yeah.
The Sims, we have Tomodachi.
Meaning
right? We have
simulators
all
for
that-
games.
I mean, we have all that stuff. That's kind of what Tamagotchi is, but just in a small little
Yeah.
sort of
And I mean-
handheld form, right?
and I mean-
like a Tiger Electronic. Do you want to know what else is a Tiger Electronic? Game & Watch.
Yeah, that's the thing for like something like a Digimon is when something like Game & Watch already exists in Smash, and then you have like peripherals like Rob, and I mean both Game & Watch and Rob are there because of their importance to Nintendo, but their existence sets a precedent that could totally allow for something like Digimon that does take up a space in the games industry, not a very big space, but it was right there next to Pokemon in the 90s.
Big facts.
Now, just for I think we've exhausted all of our resources as far as likely characters go. Now let's just go for Pie in the
Us.
Sky. Probably not going to
Among
happen.
Us.
Just our absolute dream.
You know what
character.
would be funny? It would be funny, and I don't even say this as a dream character. I just thought about it would be funny was Ezio Auditore from Assassin's Creed.
They
Only
already
because he was in-
have an Assassin's Creed me costume.
Yeah, we got to meet.
Yeah, but does it say Ezio or does it say Assassin's Creed?
I think doesn't it say?
Does it say
I think
no?
it's
Because
Ezio. I think
because
it's
if you-
Ezio.
okay, I mean I believe
It does
you.
say
I just,
Ezio because of the whole thing.
I make it Altair then.
No, it's Altair.
Haha! Bet! Make it. I'm only upset because Ezio was the guest character of like Soul Calibur 5, and I was hype as fuck, and nobody played that game, and I was so sad. That was like the one.
You know
that was the one Soul Calibur character I was saucy with besides Raphael and Link in Soul Calibur 2.
know
I was
what?
hype as fuck, and nobody played.
If we're gonna talk Soul Calibur guest characters, Darth Vader.
Fast.
That'd be stupid. It'd be like funny stupid. But
Be nightmare.
I
From Soul
can't believe we've gotten this far, guys, without discussing Crash Bandicoot in Smash Bros. Listen,
Activision, fuck Activision, fuck Activision, fuck Activision.
yeah, okay.
I was
say
there with
anything,
you.
First and foremost,
Fuck
fuck Activision. All right, and I honestly, I will say the reason why I'm putting Crash in a pie in the sky thing is because Nintendo and Activision don't have a particularly like good relationship or
They
any
have
relationship
more of a
at all.
relationship now than they did before.
I mean, they were going to do that that Overwatch tournament at Nintendo New York, but I think they just canceled it.
Probably because of COVID.
Yeah, it got like no, I don't think it was because of COVID. I think they just like canceled it last minute for no reason.
They got scared of the Splatoon thing.
I mean, maybe why, but obviously either Activision pissed off Nintendo or Nintendo pissed off Activision. So yeah,
Or it could have just been because of the stuff going on behind the scenes at Activision.
right, yeah.
I mean, they
especially
are
because
getting sued by the state of California, so
and I mean,
priorities.
I mean, granted.
Wait, pause. We need to talk about Tracer.
No, I don't want Overwatch
Okay.
to exist.
Nobody wants to watch. All right, cool. Go continue, Richard. That's all we needed.
I mean, all the stuff that happened with the California lawsuit and everything happened long after that they already had a list of characters picked for the
Yeah.
Fighters Pass.
And Crash
So,
Bandicoot
I mean, if
could've been a
they
deal.
pick Crash Bandicoot, then they're not gonna like back down at the last
Yeah.
second. They already promised people 6 characters, so we're gonna get 6 characters. So I mean, that's just Nintendo shitstorm to deal with.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Crash
Yeah.
Bandicoot is a big deal character that I see the points for Crash. I think Crash
Listen,
would be a good fit. I don't know if
listen,
it'll happen.
just me personally, the 4 like big characters that I grew up with. Mario, of course. I feel like everybody grew up with Mario. Pac-Man, Sonic, and Cloud. Those are my 4 boys. All right, they're in Smash right now. But my 5th boy, of course, is Crash Bandicoot. And if you get Crash Bandicoot into Smash Bros, then the game is complete for me. All right, I don't need any other Smash game after it. I don't need any other fucking like mods to add characters or whatever. The game is complete,
I do think
factually and truly for me.
I
don't need
there's
all my
legitimate-
wishes are fulfilled.
I do think also one thing I want to point out is this isn't necessarily characters, but we know the presentation can be 40 minutes, and we know we're getting our final wave of Mii costumes, and especially the way the last wave of Mii costumes was very much a consolation prize for characters that
Right,
couldn't
that
get
wouldn't
in.
able to
I
make
think,
it. Yeah.
I think this is where we're going to see some of the big heavy hitter, tons and tons of people asking for years characters get in. I think legitimate chance the Crash Bandicoot Mii costume.
I really hope.
Honestly, if we get a Crash Bandicoot Mii costume, I at least want a music track.
Yeah, I would. If there's a time to go all out and give like every separate Mii costume its own song and like make it a special costume, it's the final wave.
Yeah.
Just give us
I
a
agree.
bunch of random songs from whatever games they're from.
I hope the last 30 minutes. So if out of 40 minutes, I hope the last 30 minutes is the character, the level, the music, like the normal stuff.
Yeah.
I hope the first 10 music or the 10 music, the first 10 minutes is literally just all like fuck ton of Mii costumes, so everybody gets it out of the way now. So if I see Master, I just click off and not care. So it's like, oh yeah, oh that's a Mii costume. Alright, I'll bet.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do think we're gonna get a bunch of third-party Mii costumes, and I think it's gonna be some casualties for people. But I mean, by the time we see the costumes, we'll already know who the character is, so it'll let nothing else be consolation. Hey, they're not a character, but hey, they're here. That's more than a lot of characters.
Klonoa Mii costume, please. All right, Namco. I mean,
No.
Klonoa
That game
as
doesn't
a
exist.
playable fighter. Klonoa as a playable fighter would be dope too. But if I could just get a
Klonoa's
Mii
too
costume, then it would
Klonoa,
be complete.
I love Klonoa. Klonoa's great. Klonoa is
not
never going to be a big enough character. Bandai Namco is always going to have somebody else that is more popular than Klonoa.
Listen, if they
telling me-
just announce Klonoa Encore already, then we would have it. All right.
What you're telling me is, Richard, that you see the potential for Bandai Namco to give us a Klonoa, at least a costume, before any Soul Calibur character gets in?
That's what I want. That's my pie in the sky.
I don't believe that at all. I think Soul Calibur has a higher chance than any of that. What else does? Oh yeah, Tekken. Duh. I was gonna say, wait, what other fighting game does Namco do? Last character is just fucking Jin, and then Justin comes back to Smash.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I'm trying to think of like third parties that already exist in Smash that like if we were gonna get another character from them tomorrow, who would it
Eggman.
be? Eggman would be Sega, I think. I can't think of anyone else Sega that'd be like big and fitting
Shadow.
enough.
Well, Shadow with
Shadow
Shadow
with
was
a
an assist
fuck, man.
trophy, yeah. I think
Yeah,
with a gun.
I think Eggman. Actually, a first party character that's complete selfish thing, but a first party character that I think is weird in a weird case that I could see being a character is a Porky from Earthbound. Because it's never been explained, but going from literally every Smash game into Ultimate has scrubbed away nearly everything related to him outside of Newport City and its related music.
They're afraid of the music copyrights.
No, because the music is there.
No.
No, I know. I'm just being funny.
Yeah, there's no spirit. There's no boss fight.
which
There's no reference.
It's weird
because
he was a boss in Brawl. He was a sticker in Brawl. He showed up as a
I don't know,
trophy in
is he
Smash
canceled?
4.
Did he get canceled somehow? Does he represent something?
No reason. We have no explanation. It's not. The thing is that Smash Ultimate arguably has more weird, obscure things from the Mother series than any other Smash game. Because Spirits is allowed for like a bunch of random characters that nobody else would know. But, you know, the person who's the literally only link between two of its games, is just gone. You know, not exist. He's not real.
Obviously.
So, like, I do think that's kind of sus.
Sauce.
Now, Brent, before we get to your pies in the guy, I just want to real quick discuss how likely, because I've seen people on Twitter discuss this, how likely do we think it is that Taboo gets in?
I don't think it's very likely.
I don't think it's very likely, but that'd be a cool idea.
I think if Taboo was going to show up, it would have been as a boss. It's a cool idea. I don't think Taboo would be playable character.
You know what they should do? Deadass. They should get a whole new team, and instead of making Smash Ultimate 2 or whatever, Smash 6, they should just get a whole new team and just make Subspace Emissary 2.
That'd be cool.
Hell yeah.
Because you know why? Because Sakurai won't be there.
Honestly,
So they say, fuck you, we're doing it.
Honestly, I would not mind if in a year or two they give us like a Smash Ultimate Definitive Edition, all the DLC included, and give us like a proper story mode.
Oh,
That would be
Facts.
divine. They could even throw in an extra character or two for that. Given
Yeah, you know, in 4 years when Activision's cool again, and then we can use Crash
then we
Bandicoot.
get Crash.
No, fuck it, Tony Hawk.
Tony
Hell
Hawk.
yeah.
900's on you and just fucking this air attack is the 900.
He was a video game character the whole time. Sakurai says so.
Yeah, Tony Hawk actually isn't real. He's a video game character.
Anyway,
Spider-Man on a skateboard.
Anyway, Brent, pie in the sky, go.
I don't really have one. The only other character I thought was Travis Touchdown, and he got axed. Dante got axed. I guess Ezio. I'm really cool with the Smash roster. You know, I really only think the only character would be Ezio or Master Chief for Doom, or Mortal Kombat. But we've already discussed that. I really don't have anything else to say.
All right.
Alright, cool. Are we
have-
done now? Because I want to beat the
think-
shit out of Austin and some Marvel too.
I do
Yeah, I
have
think we
an
covered
idea of one other like pie in the sky character I could think of. Neku from What Ends With You.
Ah, yes.
I
Wait,
love
but he's
that.
Square Enix. They need to put Tifa in the game.
I don't
They need to
care.
put another
Give me-
Final Fantasy VII.
What Ends With You is cool. It's a good game. I
Jesus.
don't care.
You
I don't
mean
give a shit.
Discount Jet Set Radio?
Jet Set Radio would also be really cool.
Oh, that'd be fucking dope. But
Monkey
yeah,
Ball.
no matter what.
Wait. What's the name? Why am I blanking on the name? What's that new Jet Set Radio coming out? Why am I blanking?
Cyberpunk Ultra
yeah.
Rush.
Yeah, like
Cyberpunk.
they'd be making
Yeah,
Cyber Rush Ultra
yeah.
Fuck Sega be like, yeah, psych, here's the fucking beat. it just fucking
That game looks sexy as shit, though. I can't wait to play that.
He got a flip
It does look
phone.
really good.
You know, so we're talking about that. Yo, he might make it the flip phone.
It do look really fun.
Well, anyway, no matter what we say tomorrow, all of our hopes will be dashed when Jonesy gets in tomorrow. So
Oh, I'm telling you, I'd be upset, but I respect it.
All right, I think we've exhausted the discussion. I will see you guys tomorrow at the end of days.
No, you won't, because I'll be at work.
I'm playing music from the game that's gonna get in.
Oh yeah, let me see. Let me see. Don't save Richard. Let me see.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Well,
Don't say anything.
I see.
Here's where things get kind of sus.